Good morning and welcome to Meal Prep Mondays with Samantha. On behalf of Calder Self-Care, what we're doing is we are creating today a Korean style sea bass with red chili pepper sauce and a sesame seed, green pea, and green onion or spring onion rice. So if you've been to my channel before, you know that I love to clean my rice. And I love to clean it thoroughly because if there is any excess starch or any impurities that are in the package, I want to make sure that I'm not consuming that. So I'm getting all of my rice ready, putting it in the pot. Today we are using a jasmine rice, actually one of my favorite styles of rice. And we're going to clean that now at about maybe 2 or 3 goes. Okay, so now that it's clean, we're going to place it on the stove. We're going to cook on about medium heat, and I'm going to add some salt to the mixture as well, and then place the cover on, and we're set to go. Now what I'm adding is chicken stock, dry chicken stock to the base, just to give it some flavor. Some people might add seafood stock or vegetable stock, but I like the chicken stock. It's nice to have a little bit of a kick in your rice flavor. If it's not chicken stock, then sometimes I'll just put like all-purpose seasoning. But for the style of food that we're cooking today, we're not going to be putting any all-purpose seasoning at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean my spring onions, some people call it green onions, and make sure again we're washing off any impurities. We don't want to get sick and we don't want food poisoning. Beautiful, love the color. Now I'm going to take off any pieces on it that I think is unclean, just because I'm just super picky like that. I like to make sure that everything is aesthetically pleasing to my eye, and if I have any questions, I'm for sure not going to take the risk. So yeah, I'm just gonna chop it up, and I'm chopping it up in a diagonal cut, so I have a specific style to the green onion, again just for aesthetics. And there we have it. I find that the greener bits are less of a seasoning type, whereas the lighter green has more of a pungent onion kind of taste, but we want to make sure our rice, our meal is thoroughly seasoned and tasting well. So just checking on the rice, it looks like it's coming along pretty good. I would say maybe another 15-20 minutes, and it should be ready. But I have to say, just an insert here, that I am doing laundry in between cooking, so that has also played into a few things. So right now I'm just making my red chili sauce. I've added 2 tablespoons of some mayo, and I'm adding my red chili sauce now, and I'm going to mix that together with my whisk. I have to say, I like using the mayo because it does give you a little bit of a creamier taste, and it does soften down the taste of the red chili paste or liquid. And as you can see, it's thoroughly incorporated, and we're just going to set that off to the side and continue with our fish. So I have about 4 to 5 fillets of sea bass, skinless, boneless sea bass, and I'm going to start seasoning it with a few things that I'll show you. So you can see here, this rice is overcooked. We cannot use this. I'm going to start a new batch. It did burn a little bit at the bottom, which was disappointing. But again, I am doing laundry in between. I should have saved that to the end, but I'm trying to maximize my time. So we have a fresh pot of rice on the stove. That is, I believe, long grain rice. I've gone through the process of washing it, and it's just gonna cook now. And to our fish, we're gonna be adding just some table salt, some black pepper, and some ginger sesame seed seasoning. So I'm going to add some salt. Again, what I should have done was just to mix everything in one little container and just make my life easier. But I don't like an easy life. I like challenges. So that's what we got here. Yeah, so next time, hopefully I remember just to put everything off in a container so I can all add it at once instead of having to add everything individually and just elongating the process and making it more tedious. So we're just gonna rub that in as much as we can. I'm trying to be sparing with the black pepper only because my children love fish and I don't want it to be too spicy. And also same thing with the ginger sesame seed spice. I don't want it to be too spicy because as you can see there are some chili flakes in it, so I'm not adding too much to it. So now that that's done, I'm just going to check on the rice. We don't want it to overcook, and it looks like it's coming along very well. Excuse the mist. We're just going to stir that up because we don't want any rice to stick to the bottom. And once that's done, we're just gonna cover it back and let it do its thing. Okay, so to our pan, we're gonna be adding extra virgin olive oil. I would say at about 2 tablespoons of the oil, if not a little bit more. And we're just going to swish that around in our pan, make sure everything is relatively coated because it is a non-stick pan. Some people might say, well then, why add olive oil? For me, it's just a thing. I like to make sure that everything is... For me, it's just a thing. I like to make sure that everything is evenly coated and nothing accidentally sticks. It's just a paranoia of mine, and yeah, it doesn't do me any harm, so I don't mind. So I've added the sea bass into the pan, and we're gonna let that cook for maybe about 15 or 20 minutes or so. So checking in on our rice now. Fantastic, look at that. It has cooked perfectly. Listen, I hate having to do rice over, and I'm so happy we got this one done. And we're gonna have a nice little cherry break. Okay, so right here, I put the sea bass in my air fryer only because I wasn't getting the little bit of a crispy feel, crispy taste that I'm looking for. My fish was relatively soft. And if you've had sea bass before, it's not a firm fish, so I didn't want mush on my plate, so I put it in the air fryer. Now to the pan, we're just gonna add our sweet green peas and our sliced and diced green onions to the mix. We're gonna cook that for about 5 to 10 minutes until flagrant, and as you can see, the color has spruced up a little bit, and we're going to be adding that to our rice. Of course, with your rice, you want to make sure your rice does cool down a bit before you mix anything inside, because we don't want to damage the grains and create a sense of a mush. So now that the green peas and green onion mix is finished, I'm going to add it to our pot of rice, and I'm just going to fold the rice over with the rest of our ginger sesame seed seasoning along with some sesame seed oil. Now I'm going to plate the rice. I don't like too much rice, so I'm not going to put too much on. And then we're going to top the rice with our sea bass. And honestly, the sea bass came out perfectly. It wasn't too crispy, but it wasn't too soft. And remember that sauce that we made on the side? Yeah, now's the time we're going to add that. So that is our red chili paste sauce mixed with a little mayo just to give it a creamier taste. And there we have it. This tasted amazing. Thank you for watching.